Hi guys, welcome to my third processing video entitled Our Sunrise. I have to tattle on myself. The picture you see here in the beginning and at the end when I'm showing my clusters is the correct picture. I couldn't find it during the processing part of this, so I just used a different sunrise picture just so, I could get the page done. So yeah, I had to tattle on myself there a little bit. See, there's the stand-in until I found the real one. Still pretty, but not the one I was wanting. The items I'm going to use here, those watercolors, I'm going to do some watercoloring on the page. I got those at AC Moore for like under $4. And there's a little booklet I hold up. I got that at Target, and it's by We Are Memory Keepers, Simply Happy. I don't end up using these stamps here. There's that booklet. Got it at Target. Those are 4x6, and they also had smaller. I'm going to be using these DIY filters by Crate Paper, a couple of them. This one is the one that actually goes over the picture. I love the bokeh and I love the gold. I love these glitter stickers by American Crafts, and they are in the color Nutmeg, I believe, but it just wasn't working out style-wise, so I pulled something out during the layout, and I do show you what those are. These are just some foam white thickers I got at Wal-Mart, very inexpensive, and they don't color up as nice as some of the other white foam ones I have, but it worked. It did the job. This orange sheet of paper I'm going to be showing you. When I first saw it in the collection, I'm like, yeah, I probably won't be using this side. I like that blue ledger. It's by Echo Park Paper, and but I kind of laid the picture on top and it just pulled out all the right colors, so I'm going to use just a snippet of it. But this is All About a Boy by Whitlock. And then this is a vellum piece I did in my haul, I bought this in my haul the other day from Michaels. It's Maggie Holms paper. And this vellum, there is also a hard sheet of it, but I'm going to use the vellum piece. And then this cream sheet of cardstock, I got this at AC Moore as well. It's just kind of generic. It's made by Nicole. Well, that's all I found on it, but some nice colors in there, and I'm just choosing the cream color. And then I pulled out some black. It's a soft black. I thought I might mount the picture on that, but this layout completely takes a turn. My vision and how it ended up was completely different, but when you make a mistake, sometimes that's, it had a great outcome, and I'm really, really pleased with how the layout turned out. So this is only the second time I've ever watercolored on a layout before, and I want to get better at it, so I decided to do that to mimic the sunrise. I couldn't really find a good piece of pattern paper to use, so I decided to do my own thing. And that paintbrush is really inexpensive, maybe a couple dollars, and you can tell the strokes aren't very nice, but it ends up just working out great. So I started with that really orangey red at the bottom because in my picture, in the original picture that I do end up, the correct picture I end up using, it was really red down towards the water, obviously because it's a sunrise. And then I just kind of slowly work my way up, and I'm blending colors right there on the palette. If that bothers you, you can just put some colors on a paper plate or something like, plastic lid or something. But it doesn't bother me to mix colors right in my palette. And you can see that I need to get some watercolor paper, and you can see this one starting to buckle because of the amount of water I'm using. But like I said, when I started seeing that, I'm like, man, but it ended up just working. The layout is a little rough. It's not, by any means perfect as far as paper being cut precisely so, because you'll see I do some distress edging, and because of a little oops during the edging process, it just took a more distressed turn, and I really like the way it turned out, so the buckling does not bother me at all. It just kind of added to the texture of the piece. I wanted to make sure the colors were bold because I knew I was going to overlay that vellum, and the vellum had a cream background to it, so I wanted to make sure that these colors were bold enough to stand up to that. And I used my heat gun for quite a while. I was heating the front and the back of the paper. And by heating the back, it does kind of help with that buckling. It doesn't want to curl as much. And I'm getting ready to get my distressor. It's just like a blade thing. Mine is from Close to My Heart, but you can find them anywhere. And you can see the little pieces going off onto my black mat. It's just roughen up the edges. And then I'm going to take some ink and add to that as well. The paper, it's not soaked, but it's not bone dry either. It's kind of soft, and you'll see right there. There's the oops. I ripped the paper. I'm like, oh no. But I just go with it, which is a good thing. I was okay with it because there I go again. I did it again. So you can see how it's warped, kind of, but that's okay. I like it. I'm going with it. So I'm like, what am I going to do with this rip? So I just kind of decide to tear some pieces off and roll it with my fingers before I do the inking. And I did this once before a really long time ago, and I forgot all about it. So when I saw the rip, I knew that this was what I was going to do. This was originally going to be the background paper. And then once I saw how it was buckling and rolling, I'm like, I need to stabilize this a little bit better. So that's where that black sheet of cardstock is going to come in. I'm going to mount it onto there. And not thinking yet, I have to cut this piece down. So after I inked all the well, first I tried that. That was just not going to work. Did not like that at all. But I thought I'd give it a whirl. I'm still liking that. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but once I laid that vellum on, I knew that that worked out beautifully. Things don't always go as planned, and like I said, sometimes things turn out better than the original plan. You just kind of have to be okay to roll with it. So I'm making even more rips here, and I think I go down below and I use my fingernails a lot too to just kind of start things. I'm going to ink my edges like I normally do. This sheet I am not going to outline because that would just, I think, ruin the sunset look, but I do outline all the other papers, layering pieces that go on this layout. So that brown, I was just not digging at all, so I brought out my Memento London Fog that you've been seeing me use, and I'm inking all the edges here. And I really love the look over the part that I tear off and then I roll up with my fingers because the layers are open a little bit from the tearing, and so it has a different look than the edges that weren't torn. So it's really kind of cool. And then I realized, you need to cut it down. So I cut down two sides, and I have to distress two of the sides. I only have maybe 1/4 of an inch showing all the way around, so I only cut off a little bit. And I'm liking the way this is looking, so I decide to put it down before it buckles anymore. So I decide to use my AGT tape runner here. It holds really nice. And I do get right up to the edges because I knew I wasn't going to tuck anything in here really. Well, later on I wrapped some washi tape around, but I was able to pull up just enough to tuck that washi tape in because I don't bring the washi tape around to the black piece. All right, getting ready to adhere this. There we go. And it crinkled right there a little bit. I think I pull it up to show you, but I like that too, so I just went with it. I have two little crinkles up there. Now I decide to edge the black sheet cardstock. So I pull out my black StazOn ink, and then I even get into these little grooves with the corner of the pad and kind of smudge it with my finger, and it just gave it even more of a, not a grunge look, but just like distressed, like weathered. There you go. Weathered look. I really, really like the way this layout turned out. I hope you guys like it too. I had done this one immediately after my last video, Adore Those Lashes. So this layout took me no time at all. It was just, even though it didn't turn out the way I originally had planned in my head, it just came together beautifully. I guess my brain was warmed up and I would have done more, but it was way late. So I decided to cut this down a little bit because I really like the watercolor sunset in the background, so I wanted to show a little bit more of that, but I like some of this script writing. Maggie Holms wrote this, and it's just, you know, about moments in life and changing moments and things like that. So I wanted people to be able to read enough of the script to get it. But I read exactly what was on it in my latest haul video I had done because I thought it was nice. I decided to distress the vellum just a little bit, and I'm also going to ink the edges and outline with my black zig marker, and I think it's a thicker point, so it's like 0.5. Now I'm taking this Lori Whitlock paper, and as you can see, you can't really tell the pattern. I'm not really crazy about the pattern, but the colors were great. It's even better with the correct picture. um, but yeah, so I was kind of pleased. I used a piece of paper that I didn't think I was going to use. It was kind of a nice surprise. And I had bought this paper this summer, and I hadn't done anything with it yet, so I was kind of glad I got to use that. I consider it older stash because I've had it for so long. I'm inking the edges and outlining them. And I cut out some of the layering and embellishing. You'll see, and I'll talk about them when you do see them, but like I said, I pulled a yellow card out of that card stack that I got at Target, out of that We Are Memory Keepers Simply Happy. And it's out of their Albums Made Easy line, and it was a yellow ombre paper. There it is. And again, I'm just pulling, I had the darker coming into the lighter to bring your eye towards that photo. That overlay I cut in half. You see part of it in the corner up top and part of it down below. That's not going to be their Forever Home. This is the alphabet I traded out that glitter one with, and I hold it up just a moment. I think it's Amy Tangerine, maybe it's American Crafts, but I just liked how the color matched that orange paint in my sunset background on that piece of cream cardstock. That deepest orange red color, it just matched really well, and it's kind of corrugated. It's paper, and it when I hold it up later you'll see, so it has some texture to it, and I really liked it. But I still do use the foam for the word hour, and you don't see it here in the video, but I do stitch through the width of that word sunrise with my machine. You'll see it at the end when I hold it up. And that's where that top overlay is going to stay, and I end up pulling this bottom one out. I don't use it. I'm going to save it for another layout or something. And that yellow card, I did ink the edges and I did outline it. You'll see it again when I show the clusters up close. I don't know why I skipped that much of it, but that's okay. You'll see it close-up view. And I had just stapled on this overlay. So when I did find the correct picture, I knew it wasn't glued down or anything, so I was just able to take that one staple on each. I stapled it in the top right corner and in the bottom left corner, so it was really easy for me to take it up once I found the correct picture. Just trying to find the right placement. So I have my letters on wax paper, because it still keep the sticky on it. If I end up not wanting to use that alphabet, I can put it right back on the sticker sheet, and I can move it around and see through it, so it works out really well. I'm taking out my Wink of Stella markers by Zig, and I'm going to use the glitter gold. I'm testing colors out here. The gold wasn't perfect, the orange wasn't perfect, the yellow was just too bright. So what I did was I did the bottom layer in the gold, and then I went over the top of it with the orange, and it worked out well. It's kind of that mid-tone orange in my watercolor background. They took a long time to dry, so I have to go over them a couple times, because after I color them, when I pull it up with the tweezers to put it down on the page, you can kind of see where the head of the tweezers were. So I just went over it real quick again with the pen, and that was an easy fix. And it dried by the time we were done with dinner. I was running up and down the stairs cooking dinner during this layout, so we got in late. We were at my son's wrestling match. So, kind of used to eating whenever. And I'm going over the top with the orange. And then I end up using that orange down on the bottom on the sunrise as well. And the color matched great. It might have been just a smidge darker, but it has that glitter to it. And it's not a chunky glitter. It's just kind of like an iridescent, nice hue of sparkle. And I really like the way it turned out. Just trying to find placement here. Sometimes pictures don't always have to represent, you know, the happiest times in our life. You know, it can be a trial time in our life or a turning point in, you know, maybe with a significant other or a family member or something. Maybe you guys went somewhere and did something that, you know, kind of means a lot to you. And you don't always need a ton of journaling either. The picture says it all, the title can say it all, and that's what this layout's about. Just something I always wanted to remember. Well, I will always remember, but it I really love how everything flows together here, and I'm really kind of glad I put that black background. I did it just to stabilize the piece, but it just kind of pulls the black in the writing out and the black with the colors in the photo, even the photo I end up using, and it pulls in with that black transparency overlay. And I'm just now noticing it's kind of, oh, sunset. Yes, I got them at Marshall's. It's called Sunset, so I'm writing it down so I wouldn't forget. But that transparency is framing out the words breath away, so that's kind of neat. Take my breath away. And right here you can kind of see how that bokeh is up in the sky there in that picture. It's very subtle, but it just kind of adds a little bit. These are from my mind's eye. I got them at Michaels, and I'm pulling out a little word that says love. I'm going to use it like a little tab. That's going to be one area of a cluster, the top right and then the lower left. So kind of going down in the diagonal. That's how my clusters are going to work for this piece. And in that top right corner, it doesn't show it, but you see that Amy Tangerine pack, the daily sticker book pack. I take a sticker out of there that says love you more, and it also kind of looks like it was done watercolor sunset colors. So it worked out really well. And I didn't plan on using that because I didn't show it in the beginning, but I just decided to look through my stash to see what else I could possibly use. And I end up using some of these gold sequins. They're like little petal shaped, and I sprinkle them throughout, and I really like how it pulls in that frame around the picture. And here's just some washi tape. I use two. The bottom, which is the thicker one of the two, is an orange stripe, orange and cream stripe, and I put that in the 3 cluster areas. And then over top of that is a thinner orange, solid orange. And I end up in the bottom right corner, you'll see it at the very end, I use a roller stamp and it says Hello Sunshine. I thought that was kind of cute. And this doily, I use half of it. Yep, my mind's eye. It came with those. I think I got it clearance at Michael's this fall for like $1 something. So I was pretty psyched about that. And then it ends up really well with this page. Instead of using a stark white doily, I didn't have a cream colored one. And I put it down, you can see right under that yellow, on top of the vellum, underneath that yellow layering piece of paper. I'm looking at the words here, and I chose, oh, there I go, stamping the bottom with Hello Sunshine. And I add a flare. You see it down there in the very bottom, and the package is off to the right. It's by Recollections. I got that clearance at Michael's for like 79 cents for the package, and the flare says, this is how the story goes, which I thought was completely appropriate, and the colors were working. I told you this layout was just falling together. It might have taken me maybe 40-45 minutes with running up and down the stairs. So I end up not using this word. I'm not even sure what that word was, but I do end up pulling the word you and using it, and I'm going to tuck it up next to that tag so it'll say love you. So you can see the orange washi tape down. You see up in the top right corner the Love You More sticker I got from that Amy Tangerine booklet. And I also stamped up there in that corner right underneath the washi tape with that roller stamp. It says remember. I stamped it 3 times without re-inking it, so it's kind of a fading, and I did it at a diagonal going off the page. So you'll see it when I hold the page up later. And I outlined both of those little tabs. But I like the sequins, you'll see the shape of them. I showed them during my haul, but it's just kind of like a petal shape, very subtle petal shape. And it was a package of just silver and gold, because I never really used sequins on my page before, so I didn't really know if I'd like it, and I really love them. And they were $1 something, and I got them in the section where the kids foam shapes and pom-poms and all that. It's not in the scrapbooking section of Michaels. There's an aisle where it's just like little kids stuff that they can do arts and crafts with. And they also have like generic like gems and things like that. The ones in the scrapbooking section are nicer. I'm using some of these. I think they might be from Pebbles or Lawn Fawn, these enamel dots. I use enamel dots from a couple different, I use the mustard yellow up top there in the frame from Michaels, from Recollections. And I use this kind of melon orange color along with the gold sequins. I just kind of lay them around. So like I said, this page looks rough and tumble, but not too much. I think the edges might like mimic the water and the shape of the clouds in the ending picture that you'll see. There's no clouds in this picture, but this was just the fill-in picture. But at the end, check that out, and it just really all works well together. I was very excited. And I did sew over that, the vellum down. I did sew around the edges. That's the only place I sewed besides going through the word sunrise. And I'm debating, I think I need to go back and sew through the word hour, because the U is going over the layers of the picture and the frame paper I mounted the photo on, and that U doesn't want to stay down very well. So I think I might go through the center of that as well. Haven't done that yet, but I think I'm going to. And again, this picture doesn't need a lot of journaling, and I didn't want to write a lot of things for others to see. My husband and I know what it meant, and so I just simply put new beginnings and I put the date. So anyway, oh, my son just got home. My dogs are going to bark here in a minute, and I don't know how to pause this. Oh no. So anyway, we're just about done. The only thing I'm going to do to finish these up is I'm going to put it in the box, and I'm going to mist a little bit of the only other color I use of my dotting mist that I normally do to my clusters is the Tinsel. And again, that's just going to pull all of the blacks and the grays together. I have enough oranges and reds in my embellishment cluster. And in that middle cluster there, you will see I end up putting in a black tab that I got from Smash from Michaels. You'll recognize it when you see it. I've used those quite a bit, so I'm really happy to be using up some of these things I bought this summer finally. And this box was just a box, I think a 2P's order came in. I just ripped the edges off, and it works perfect. It holds the 12 by 12s perfectly, and the edges are high enough to where the ink doesn't spread out. So if you wonder where I got the box, that's all that was. So save your box. And I even did a little bit on the side over that doily. Normally I don't do that, but here we go. Here's the right picture again. So you see how all the colors blend nicely. There you go, the Love You More and the Remembered stamped 3 times. You can see the sewing I did around the vellum and the enamel dots. And there's that black little tab I added, which it needed that there. And I sewed through the sunrise, you can see that. And then the washi tape, the Flair, and the stamp on the Hello Sunshine. And even in these little sections of black where it's torn, you can kind of see where I smeared the black ink. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you decide to do a picture of something that means a lot to you, that doesn't necessarily need a lot of journaling and such. I enjoyed making this and sharing this, and the next one will be up probably next week. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.